Good afternoon, actually good evening. Hello Toastmasters, there's not any guests here, but if they were here, I would warmly welcome them. So I want to talk to you all a little bit about what I've learned in the program, and the program being Toastmasters. When I first started out, I came to Toastmasters because I was having a lot of difficulty stating my opinion in public forums, basically in work. And I was shying away more and more and becoming more and more closed off. And then I'd find that when I did offer up my opinion or my thoughts, it seemed as though they weren't coming across clearly. They weren't being effectively delivered, in other words. So I came to Toastmasters to try to eliminate that. And in working the program, slowly but surely, I feel as though I'm becoming a better communicator, although I still think that I have a long way to go to become maybe a top-notch or excellent communicator. And I've worked through a lot of the different manuals that we have, and when I first started working them, what was happening is I would read through the process, then I would get up and I would deliver the speech, and then I would get feedback. And the feedback at first was hard to take, actually. At the beginning I was like, oh, this is just like work, this is really hard to compare. How do I pull apart the pieces that I need so that I can better myself and not take it too critically, because I was taking things too critical, very much so. And what I did is I just kept slowly working through the speeches. And then I started videotaping them as I do now. And I would look at them through a different set of eyes, if you will. So kind of like a different lens, as though I was evaluating somebody different. And it gave me a different perspective. Now, I will include in that also evaluating people made me look for different things that made me become a better speaker. All of a sudden, I was seeing things that I was doing on the video camera, and I didn't know until I actually got out there and I evaluated a couple of speeches. And it was probably more like 10, 15, maybe 20 speeches or so after I evaluated, and I began to look at it, and I was thinking, wow, if I incorporated this or changed it around like that, and when I'm evaluating this person, I really like the way that they did this or accentuated that, and if I plug that in over here and rearrange it to the way that my behavior is, or the way that I deliver a speech, then that could work really, really well. And so I started to do those things and incorporate more and more and change and grow. And then I continued to go through more and more manuals at a rapid pace. First, it was very slow to get out any speeches. I think for the first year, I did maybe 4. And that was in 2013. Then in 2014, I did 2. And then in 2015 to right now, I think I did somewhere between 40. And I've gone through so many manuals. In the last 10 days, I've done 7 speeches, all prepared, like within a couple of hours, and I'd get up and talk. And just like this one, I didn't even prepare. Now, what I'm learning from this is getting up and talking and reading through each of the manuals really quickly, coming up with the topic to talk about, and coming up with it almost impromptu, doing one dry run or so, that there's a way that you read the manual based on your experience, where you come from in life, where your education level, what you're doing for your work or your job. And then what happens is you deliver a speech, and I'll deliver it based on all my experience and everything that I've done in life. And I've read the criteria, and then I'll get an evaluation, and I'll hear things from the evaluation that I never even thought about, because the person that's giving me the evaluation is sharing something from a completely different perspective. Just yesterday, I gave a speech, and somebody shared something, and I didn't even think to incorporate that into my speech. Kind of in a nutshell, we'll kind of look at it as an entire whole thing that we're working with here. In giving those speeches very rapidly, I'm learning what people are interested in hearing, number one. Number two, where they come from in life and how I might be able to better arrange it and change it and deliver them quicker and faster. If I wait, in other words, for perfection, and I deliver it at home and I prepare it and I go through it maybe 10 times, 15 times, and I rewrite it because I'm trying to always be perfect, or I'm trying to come out with the best speech, best way it could possibly happen, that even if I did that, that I'm still going to learn something because the audience is different. So it doesn't matter if I do it in 1 hour or 1 minute, or I practice for 30 days and then deliver it. And what I want is I actually want the feedback. So the next time that I go out, I'll be able to prepare a better speech for the entire audience, and the audience will have a better experience. It broadens my gaze to be able to get the feedback and communicate with everybody as much as possible. You're not always going to communicate with every single 100%, every single person 100%. But if you can incorporate and move from 5% to 10% to 50 to 90%, and you're capturing that most of the time, then you're moving up from good to better to best to excellent communicator, and that's probably what we all want to achieve or shoot for. So I would say, don't strive for perfection, strive for growth. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you for that excellent speech. Please take a moment and write